has just always been there. The longevity of the King is astonishing. He's World Masters winner in 2004.
134.
As we get into this final, there are a few players that it's worth giving a little shout out for today. Certainly Steve Beaton, who has enjoyed yet another run deep into a tournament. Mark Webster in reaching his first semi-final for 2.5 years, and fantastic to see him throwing well again. And especially one that
100
is notable, that young Jared Cole, just 17 years of age, made it to the quarterfinals of a senior event for the first time. Now, in the semi-finals, Mervyn King
41
got his first leg on the board by taking out 127 to break and level up. He hit treble 20 and then treble 17. And then he hit double 8.
For 127 and game, and a 12-darter to open up this final. The King breaks the Wade throw.
Well, Mervyn King's weighed in against Wade with a 127 for starters. And surely Mervyn King gets himself front in a final against James Wade.
57.
Nothing can go wrong.
Well, you would think that Mervyn would be completely comfortable in defending a lead, particularly a healthy lead, like, say, I don't know, what, like 9-2 or something like that? 9-1?
55.
Well, it's almost unassailable, isn't it, that kind of lead? It's almost impossible to come back from a position like that.
And yet,
2014
99.
Masters, Mervyn King did somehow lose that lead to James Wade.
really?
Yes, really.
82.
And if James Wade does go on to reverse this deficit and win the title, and you head downstairs, Dan, watch out for the interview bomb.
78.
I'll be wary of that one. My only concern with these two, I mean, they've played fabulously all day, particularly James Wade, who's averaging over 100 for the day. His lowest average today is 96, and we've had 104 and 106 in there. We've had 4 of his 6 previous games have been 100-plus averages, and the other 2 are just 96 and 96
100.
and a bit. It has been such consistent brilliance from Wade. He's probably wondering why he started this so slowly, but their records in
83.
finals is the only thing that concerns me, because James Wade has only won 1 of his previous 11 finals, whereas Merv has only won 1 of his previous 9.
60.
Yeah, Wade has made a couple this year, lost out to Michael van Gerwen in both of them, one on the floor and one on the stage on the European Tour. Mervyn King's most recent was also on the European Tour.
100.
When he was beaten by Peter Wright last year. Well, 127 to take the first leg. 107 now the target for Mervyn King. Not going to go.
91.
But he leaves the double 8 that he pinned in the first leg. He may not be allowed to go at it, though. James Wade on the ball. Breaks straight back with a very Wadey finish. He made it so hard after that first dart, but found the 57 and then pinned the very centre of the board.
Yeah, it's been a story of brilliant finishing so far. 127 followed by a 126.
140.
And the break cancelled out immediately by James Wade.
$140.
Mentioned James Wade's performances. He beat Ryan Joyce in the first match, which was a difficult draw to get early on. Ryan Joyce has been performing well in the Players' Championship events.
A 6-1 win as well against Ryan Joyce. Now, if you cast my mind back to the weekend,
85.
The last person to beat Ryan Joyce 6-1 at the start of a tournament was the bloke who went on to win it, was it not? Mensur Suljovic, the Danish Darts Open in Copenhagen.
An omen for the machine. He averaged 103.5 in that, and then went on to supersede it when he beat Robert Thornton 6-2 with 106 average. Then wins against Paul Rowley, Chris Dobey, the world champion Rob Cross, and the former world champion Steve Beaton. And just like Mervyn King, he hasn't been taken to a last leg decider all afternoon.
Well, it's kind of been like a... Oh, he's got to be double-double here, hasn't it? Oh, Yeah, that's the right shot, but he couldn't quite execute it.
56.
I'll come back to this point in a moment, but today has been kind of like James Wade's greatest hits collection. Merv's not going to take out the 136. You've seen him go up against players. Again, he's had highlights of his career. Beat Steve Beaton in the Gibraltar final to really underline his bounce back from those troubles that he had with his mental health. Double 10 would be a Wadey greatest hit, but
20.
A surprise.
Well, Mervyn King looks as confused as anybody at seeing James Wade miss the target he usually, inevitably hits.
Game shot.
It's Mervyn King that hits, and it's a third straight break in this final.
Yeah, so James Wade, the Beaton final, repeat the Gibraltar final that was such an important one for his career. Just needed to be reminded he's not throwing first. That was another break of throw. That Thornton game where they both averaged over 100 in that match, well, that was a repeat of their incredible game at the Grand Prix where they both hit double start 9 darters.
120.
9 darters, what are they? We haven't seen one all year, Dan. It was a great match, that one, back at the Grand Prix. 2 9 darters in the same match. One by each
85.
player to each other in celebration. Thornton, of course, went on to win the tournament the following year, having been knocked out by James Wade in that one.
Well, doesn't Bob say that game with Wade was the best one he ever played in his career? And he lost it.
140.
He's even said that after the following year, where he won the whole tournament and beat Van Gogh in the final.
The first words he uttered backstage after winning that were, "I should have won it last year." He'd been on a one-man mission for 12 months to get that title. A title that James Wade has held a couple of times. Of course, James Wade has won many big major PDC titles, including the
85.
Masters against Mervyn King and the Premier League when he beat Mervyn King in the final. Mervyn, of course, won big finals in the BDO, but hasn't managed to pick one up in the PDC yet. And I know it's something that might be a slight irritant when he looks back
100.
on his career.
Yeah, he's come very, very close. You can't take away from the fact he's a former world master and won the Zyder down as well, but he would love one of those big PDC titles, and he still believes that he's got it in him.
134.
Oh, he's left himself 22 there.
Well, he had that at one point in the semi-final as well. Went straight for it and hit it, so he'll be confident in approaching it, although knowing
55.
Mervyn King, he'd probably split it this time.
Oh, he's got a choice with Wadey not on a finish himself.
Well, he neither hit nor split, but in the end, landed double 4 and gets a little bit of daylight between him and James Wade.
140.
Well, this would be such a savage disappointment for the machine, having been brilliant all day. Averaged 100.65 for the
98.
tournament coming into this final. He is 15 points off that pretty much right now.
Well, will Wade find a way? We mentioned those finals that they've played in
171.
before. Incredibly, it's just the third final, isn't it, between these two? Those 2 finals they've met in were the Masters and the Premier League.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Premier League is an enormous
60.
tournament, and some say the hardest one to win. The Masters, very tricky. The top 16 players in the world, but this is Players' Championship 15 at Barnsley Metrodome, guys. Come on, play your best
130.
game.
Well, it is a ranking final, Dan.
More than
Neither of
can be
those
said
two
for the
were.
other two, yeah.
James Wade wants 60
100.
to reduce the arrears to a single leg. Mervyn's a long way behind. But yeah, we mentioned those finals, but you look at the overall head-to-head. I mean, the pair have met 44 times, and I thought that James Wade probably had the better. I didn't realise it'd be so close. So he's won 23
180.
to Mervyn's 20 as the King rattles in a pressure-piling 180.
shot.
James Wade, though, hits 20. But yeah, 1 draw in the Premier League too. Wade only with 3 more wins than King.
$140.
Mervyn King there was looking at 5 perfect darts. He was looking at back-to-back 180s until the last one.
60.
lost a leg in between. I think I recall Mervyn King throwing 9 perfect darts before and losing a leg in between 3 consecutive 180s. It might have even been 4 or something
140.
ridiculous like that. I'm sure someone will tweet in and tell us when that happened. Hashtag PC15. We've enjoyed your contributions
60.
all afternoon, and we'll do it all again tomorrow, but the 5 will change to a 6.
$100.
Well, Mervyn ticking along at more than 100 average, and that's the best he's done today. Whereas Wade, this is the worst he's played today
85.
so far. And the King is dominating.
Because of that little bit of
38.
history with Mervyn King, and it's not just against James Wade. There's a Grand Prix final when he lost to Michael Van Gogh. Even here, when Rob Cross won his first title, Mervyn
60.
King looked in control of that match too. And it just never seems safe with Mervyn King, does it? Until he's actually holding the trophy, or in this case, a check.
Well, true.
Game shot.
And that is very nicely done by Mervyn King. I just paused to see if that treble 10 was in. It was. And the double 18 certainly was. But even that last title that he won,
58.
the European Darts Grand Prix in Sindelfingen, he won it after Michael Smith missed championship darts in the final. There is a little omen, actually, I believe,
180.
that weekend, Mervyn went there on his motorbike. And I believe, just for a change, changed his travel plans and got on the bike and
93.
came here midweek to Barnsley.
Yeah, that is certainly correct. Mervyn King decided to, I think he sees it as some kind of relaxing
42.
routine. I talked about this in the semi-final. Not my idea of relaxation, but Mervyn King, it seems to just calm him down a little and chill him out as he's
140.
trying to chill himself out in the background there. It's been incredibly hot down there in the arena today, which makes it even more remarkable that a man who often struggles to battle through the elements during games of darts, Mervyn King,
174.
found himself on the brink of victory.
Well, Merv has fired in a 180 and a 174 in this leg. A 170 from Wade would leave him on tops.
170.
What a magnificent leg of darts this is.
Well, Wade on tops after a dozen darts, but King can still go out in 12 himself. And if he does, it's Wade who will have to produce
Game
yet
shot.
another epic comeback against Mervyn King. What a shot that was.
What a leg that was from Mervyn King. 180 early on, then 174, followed by 104 out for a 12 darter, with Wade having just fired in 170 to be on tops.
Well, I'm not sure what James Wade has got a problem with down there.
125.
Was he suggesting that Mervyn King was taking his time?
Well, I mean, Wadey might be getting bored, but if he's getting bored of Mervyn throwing 104
57.
average against him, then I suggest that there are other emotions he should probably be feeling other than boredom.
Well, Mervyn King has saved his best for the
140.
final here, and he's got that bit between his teeth. He's homing in. He's seen the chance here to add his name to the roll of honour for 2018 and end a 4-year wait for a title.
58.
This is a sensational performance.
Mervyn King genuinely seemed emotional at the weekend when he beat Rob Cross on the European Tour. He was talking about, oh, I've done something I never thought I'd do, beat a world champion, even though he's done it before many times. But there has just
100.
been something about Merv these last few days that suggests that he could have a big day in him, and this has been a superb day. And he could finish it here and claim the title.
85.
Well, one dart missed for the match from Mervyn King. We can't be sure he'll win it until that last dart hits the double. But he's going to return with 3 in
60.
hand for double 8. And Wade has been the king of consistency all afternoon. But
Game
Mervyn
shot and a
King
match.
is the king of the contest. The first PDC title in 4 years for Mervyn King, beating James Wade 6-2 in the final. What a story. Perhaps not the name on everyone's lips when we got to Barnsley this afternoon, but Mervyn King will wear the crown tonight. He takes his first title in 4 years What a win for Mervyn King. An embrace in the background, it must mean so much for him. And our man Dan Dawson has headed downstairs, and it is time now to hear the King's speech.
Mervyn, come and stand here, my man.
Hello, mate.
It has been a long time coming. It's been a long wait. The European Darts Grand Prix, the last time you won a PDC ranking title.
That's it. Rub it in. Rub it in.
You're back in the winner's circle, Merv. This is a massive day for you.
It is, yes. Of course it is. I mean, well, 105 average. What can I say? I upped at every game I played today, and I got away with some early rounds, to be fair. But after that, I upped it, so I'm really happy with the result.
Look, you have won several titles and then big titles in your long, long career, but how hard is it when it gets to the final to be able to step and play your best game of the day, because you knew you needed to do that against James?
Well, of course, if you don't, you're going to get beaten, aren't you? I mean, James is a fantastic player, regardless of the fact he's a great friend, and I love him to bits. He really is a great friend. Gives me a lot of advice, not only with the cars, but in life and darts and stuff. You know, I think the absolute world of him. And I knew that if I didn't come up here and play properly, I'm going to get done 6-zip. So I brought my A game here, pretty much. There's a little bit more left in the tank, but that was... I'm really, really happy with that. That was... I called on it and it was there.
Go back a few weeks, and you've been speaking to us, you've been doing commentary with us, and on the European tour, and you've been talking about how frustrating it was that you just felt that you were under pressure, that you weren't getting the results, and that you felt that, you know, if something doesn't change soon, I mean, I might start missing out on things. And then look what's happened. Just when you needed it, you've found a big, big day.
You got to look at this game, and you got to look at your form and how you've played in previous matches, but also what is inside you. And I've never ever doubted my capability against anybody. If Merv King turns up, Merv King wins. I've told you this, and you know it's one of them things that I'm really not afraid of anybody, whoever I play, regardless of how they're playing. It's if my eye's in, then they've got a real tough match on their hands. And today, I called on it several times when I needed to, and it was there. And it's so gratifying that all the hard work I've put in over the last probably 18 months is now paying off. And hopefully, that'll carry on.
That's interesting the way you describe that, because when I've spoken to Rob Cross, he's talked about it in a similar way, in that he says, I put the hard yards in, and I put the practice in, and then when it comes to a game, I feel like a performance comes out. It's almost like you don't have a control over it. It's just you've put in the work and you've got a talent, but when you really need it, something special just kind of happens.
But sometimes you do. Sometimes you need it and you call on it, and it's like having those gears in when you're driving, you change from second to third, and you know, and it's one of them. You know that you're under pressure, someone's playing, and you want to shift up a gear, and it goes bang. And if it turns up, you know you're on it, you know you're playing well, and you know they're in trouble. And I done that quite a few times today, to be fair, when I was under pressure.
And certainly did in the final. It certainly went bang for Mervyn King in the final. 104, 105 average in the end. Mervyn King, his first PDC ranking title for 4 years, and he will be back tomorrow for Players' Championship 16. You can watch it on PDC TV and various bookmakers across the world. The King is back. Long live the King.
You know it.